Good afternoon, people. My name is Smriti Shah, and I'm a faculty of Sociology and Indian Society with VISION IAS. I know it's been a long day for you, and India-Pakistan finals is also there today. So I'll just take another 15 minutes of yours. By that time, I think toss-was hi hoga, kuch khas hoga nahi. So let's get back to the work. See, every faculty has more or less told you what are the nuances about this examination. So I would not be delving into that detailing, but what is important from this perspective, the topic which I am dealing with is Indian society. See, it's a new topic which has been added in your UPSC syllabus. It has been added in 2013. If you all know that in 2013, the syllabus underwent a sea change and the topic has been incorporated. Now see, what you need to understand, this is my perception, that before you start preparing for any of this examination or any strategy or any aspect of this examination, you have to be very thorough that what examination demands from you. Now suppose this Indian society is a topic which is there. Indian society is too humongous. It is too big to be studied in entirety. So you have to have a clarity that why are you studying Indian society? What you are supposed to study in Indian society and how you are supposed to study Indian society. This is what a general perception I believe that you should have. So the dimension of another 15 minutes which I am dealing with you guys would be why. See, at max, there is too much to be covered. We need to be hard worker, but at the same time, you need to be smart enough to understand that what kind of weightage this section holds in your examination and what is the demand and the expectation of UPSC from each one of their aspirants. Is that very clear? So keeping that in mind, we would be referring only to the weightage, analysis, and then how you are supposed to unfold the syllabus. The first thing that you are supposed to do is go back home, purchase the syllabus of this examination, deconstruct the syllabus. It is very important that you should learn the art of deconstructing the syllabus. The moment you realize that what is the expectation of this examination, the examination becomes very easy to clear. Otherwise, it is genuinely a tough nut to crack. If you are not very clear in your head that how you are supposed to go about the preparation. And finally, which sources you have to refer and how you are supposed to refer those sources. This is what we are going to deal today. Now, just one question. Can you tell me what Indian society, in your opinion, is all about? If I ask you that you have to prepare Indian society, what will you study? A general question. I'm asking you, you are staying, you're a part of this society, minimum 21 years of age. So पिछले 21 सालों से you are staying in this society. So if I ask you what is Indian society, what you're supposed to prepare in Indian society, any one thing that you can think of?
Because understanding the unity and diversity, because Indian society is so diverse in nature to understand each and every.
Fine. He said a very well point. Unity and diversity is one thing that he wants to study about Indian society. Very well said. That's a part of your syllabus. See, he knows the syllabus without even. So, yes, what next?
The transitory nature of the society as a
Brilliant. The society is in the stage of transition. This is what you need to study, that we are on the way of becoming modernized, but yet we have not left on their traditional roots. Very well said. Anything else? कुछ और थोड़ा less academic बात करते? Culture, fine. I'll take that. Culture. You should know about the culture. घर वर नहीं है क्या तुम लोग का? परिवार है ना? सबसे पहली चीज your family. है ना? फिर family से आगे बढ़ते ही तुरंत आपका सरनेम आ जाता है. So your caste. ठीक है? फिर in case if you belong to any particular community, so tribes. फिर शादी भी करते हैं ये सब. Marriage. Education, this is all you are supposed to study in Indian society. But the point here is that now you need to understand why UPSC has incorporated this section so explicitly. Do you think prior to 2013, there were no questions on education or there were no questions on caste, family, tribes? There were questions. But then what made UPSC incorporate this section so specifically is something you need to understand. Because the moment you understand why UPSC has incorporated, you know what to answer in the question. Why? थक गए हो? पानी वानी पिया है? अच्छा, चलो. This is my perception. I only expect you to read these three things which I have written in this slide. To develop a perspective, to sensitize the officials about the discourses, and finally to come up with a scheme or policy which can eradicate the social menace. This is my opinion. And in case if you realize, this is the structure of all your answers. Introduction, body, and conclusion. This is all what is supposed to be written in any question. The first lecture of the day today, sir mentioned about triple talaq. Uniform Civil Code, can you answer? What is your perspective about triple talaq? What is your perspective about Uniform Civil Code? What are the issues with respect to the Uniform Civil Code? And finally, what are your suggestions in order to implement or not to implement Uniform Civil Code? And this is how you have to prepare every damn social issue. Just for your information, in today's prelims paper, there were 35 questions from social schemes. Humongous amount. Paper was not current affairs as this used to be last year. This year paper was quite good paper. 20 questions from polity, 4 questions from art and culture, but 35 questions from social schemes. So you need to understand the importance of government schemes. मोदी सरकार है, जब बनाएंगे तो पूछेंगे भी ना, तो importance कैसे आएगी? So they are making schemes, so they are asking schemes. So you have to be very thorough with these social issues. Is that very clear? Now see, I'll again say, before I move ahead, you should be aware of the weightage of this section. This is only GS paper 1. In which society is officially mentioned. I am telling you that breakup. There is every year questions from society which has been asked in your paper 2, paper 3 and paper 4 as well. In paper 3 last year there was a question that gender budgeting leads to women empowerment. Nowhere you will be taught this. You have to study it in society. Women empowerment is a part of Indian society. Gender budgeting is one of the social schemes and you have to link the two. Impact of globalization on informal sector. That's there in your Indian society, but it has been asked in paper 3. There are case studies which are related to caste. There are case studies which are related to migration. Everything that you will be studying in your Indian society. So it is very important. This is the breakup only of GS paper 1. Every year there will be a topic on essay which is from society. The very first topic of this year's mains, 2016. The development, if not engendered, it becomes endangered. So that was the topic which you will study in your society. So be very cautious when you are picking up this section. Because everybody thinks that it is too generic. It is not. This is the syllabus that you have. And that's the first thing. Please learn the art. Even if you don't join any coaching institute, hardly matters. You have the syllabus in front of you. Learn the art of deconstructing the syllabus. Can you read the first topic? Salient feature of Indian society. There is no book which has mentioned what are salient features of Indian society. So let me make it very clear, you do not have a book to prepare for Indian society. Lastly, obviously, तुम लोग पूछोगे और मैं कहूँगी कि NCERT पढ़ लेना class 12th की, उससे कुछ ही नहीं आना. ठीक है? So the point is, that is one of my duty to tell you the book and you would refer that. But if you see the first topic, salient feature of Indian society, now you tell me what are the salient features. Unity in diversity is the salient feature. We just now talked about. Caste system, is that a salient feature? Joint family, is that a salient feature? Secularism in a multicultural society, is it a salient feature? The kind of patriarchy which exists in Indian society, is it a salient feature? That's there. You have to deconstruct the syllabus because UPSC has given you one headline. Now it depends upon you that in what perception you are preparing that topic. Is that very clear? Similarly, just see, role of women and women organization. Bas. वो विमेन से रिलेटेड कुछ भी पूछ लेंगे और कहेंगे हमने सिलेबस में विमेन डाला था ना, तो रोल ऑफ विमेन इन विमेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कहां, वो खुद सोचो. ठीक है? तो वहां हम आते हैं. वी विल टेल यू हाउ यू आर सपोज टू प्रिपेयर. देन इफेक्ट्स ऑफ ग्लोबलाइजेशन ऑन इंडियन सोसाइटी. आई जस्ट टेल यू फॉर दोज हु विल नॉट बी ज्वाइनिंग, जस्ट दैट इफ यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर इंडियन सोसाइटी, दैट्स जस्ट फॉर देम. Learn this art. that every society has two aspects to it. One is the structure and other is the culture. So if you have to prepare the impact of globalization on Indian society, you would study the impact on the structure and impact on the culture. Structure can be divided into two parts. One is the institutions and other is the sections. Institution, I mean marriage, caste, media, education, religion, etc. Similarly, sections can be women, old age, child, youth, SC/ST, minorities, etc. Similarly, if you have to study the impact on the culture, it would be also studied from three parts. One, you are leading to homogenization of culture, your culture, है ना? The junk food culture, McDonaldization. Everybody is eating the pizza burger, that is homogenization. Or it can be hybridization, aloo tikki burger, that is only sold in India. So that is hybridization. Beef products are not being sold, that is hybridization. Or celebration of International Yoga Day. That is revival of local culture. So this is how globalization impacts Indian society. Is that very clear? This is just one example I'm giving you to have a clarity. This is known as deconstructing of syllabus. If you learn this art, the entire UPSC preparation would be a cakewalk. Otherwise, please remember, it is really a tough nut to crack. Is that very clear? Now next, social empowerment. Essay. थोड़ा बहुत तो पढ़कर आते हैं ना सब लोग, स्कूल कॉलेज तो किया ही है. What do you understand by social empowerment? UPSC has incorporated this as a topic in your syllabus. Just give a vague thought to it. What can be? थोड़ा deconstruct करो. Social and empowerment.
When you're going to the slide, there's a lot of luck. The ones who are unfortunate than us, we have to empower them enough to not come. इतना ही कर लो कि वो जीना चाहे.
Okay, fine. That's very well said. It's her perception, very well said. See, you must be studying about economic empowerment. You must be studying about political empowerment, 73rd, 74th Amendment Act. You need to realize without social empowerment, all these empowerment are meaningless. Because social empowerment talks about autonomy. Women has the right to work. She has the right to earn. But she doesn't have the right to spend the amount that she has earned. So that autonomy talks about social empowerment. Is that very clear? So that's an home assignment. Go back home, Google the definition of social empowerment. You will actually be able to answer many questions that are coming to your mind. Is that clear? Now see, communalism, regionalism, secularism, these are the direct topics, but we would be dealing it in detail. That what is the impact in our society? Is that clear? Then you have population and associated issues. You have poverty and developmental issues. These are direct topics. Every year you will get a question. That's my guarantee. Last year there was a question on demography, demographic dividend in paper 2, but it is a part of your paper 1 syllabus. Smart city, there is a question in every paper last year. I think उनके पास topics कम पड़ गए थे. So GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, in every paper they had asked a question on smart city, but it is a part of your syllabus of paper 1. Is that very clear? Every year you will get a question on poverty, either in paper 1 or in GS paper 2. Because in GS paper 2 also, there is a portion poverty and hunger. Is that very clear? So you have to learn this. Now, just go through the questions. Just go through the question. There's one person in your class, she has very rightly pointed out the transitory nature of our society. That we have become, or we are on the verge of modernization, yet we have not left our traditional roots, and because of which there is a paradox in our society. Just read the question. Every question is related to a paradox. Discuss various social problems which originates out of process of urbanization. Urbanization is a sign of development. It's a sign of progress. The question asked is the problems associated with urbanization. That is the paradox. Is that very clear? So the moment you are reading any issue, you have to read. For example, if there is a question, to what extent in the post-independent India, the policies of government has led to emancipation of tribals? So you will write positive, but at the same time, you would also mention about the limitations, that why we are not being able to completely empower the tribals. And finally, you will come up with suggestions. What you need to understand is every answer has to be in the form of a paradox. Positive, negative, and suggestions. Is that clear? Now, read the second question. Male membership needs to be encouraged in order to make women's organization free from gender bias. Can you understand the paradox? अरे यार women का participation जरूरी है, otherwise India will not progress. अब women को participate करा दिया, women are misusing the rights which are given to them. So what should be done? Male participation again needs to be introduced so that there is no gender biasness. Can you understand the paradox? Effect of globalization on the aged population. If you deconstruct, I can guarantee you will be able to answer all the questions. Growing feeling of regionalism is an important factor in the generation of demand for a separate state. What simple question hai? The question is not regionalism. The question is regionalism. Everybody knows about regionalism, है ना? वो अपना मराठा मानुष वो जो चलता रहता है, ठीक है, गो बैक नॉर्थ इंडियंस, तो वो वाला, दैट इज रीजनलिज्म. सो मेन रीजन फॉर रीजनलिज्म इज इकोनॉमिक डिस्पैरिटी, ठीक है, बट इकोनॉमिक डिस्पैरिटी इज वेरी कॉमन इन इंडिया. सो एवरीवेयर देयर इज अ डिमांड ऑफ रीजनलिज्म, नहीं? सो द क्वेश्चन इज, till the time you would not have subjective realization of objective reality, you will never resent. अभी सब इस क्लास में बैठे हो, everyone is at one level. You're feeling so proud, you're feeling all energetic. जब next time आओगे, किसी का prelims हो जाएगा, किसी का नहीं, तब देखना. That is relative deprivation. And that is what which leads to resentment. So the moment there is subjective realization of the objective reality, only then there is resentment. So UPSC इतना भी आसान सवाल नहीं पूछता है. You have to be well prepared. Just read the first question. Is there anywhere in your syllabus patriarchy? We included it under salient feature of Indian society. Then I told you role of women and women organization. Question क्या पूछा? Middle class working women. They expect you to write specific answers. Do not write about the impact of women on or patriarchy on women. You have to write the impact on the middle class working women. And for that you need sociological jargons. You need to use like dual burden. You need to talk about pink collared jobs. You need to talk about glass ceiling. This is all which would be discussed in the class. You don't need to worry. But what I'm trying to tell you is, please learn the art. If the syllabus has been used, you have to talk in that language. You cannot write a very general answer. अगर यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड का क्वेश्चन पेपर 1 में होगा, then you will be talking about society perspective. But if it is asked in paper 2, you have to write the answer from political perspective. You need to understand why UPSC is asking that question in that particular paper. The language of the answer needs to change. Is that very clear? ठीक है? So if you are ever preparing any social issue, this is just an advice for those who will not be taking any help. So social issue, suppose this is, so सबसे पहले cause, then provisions, implications, and suggestion. And when you are studying provision, it has to be constitutional, statutory, government schemes, judicial pronouncements, and international conventions. You will never go wrong. If the question is asked in paper 2, write about these. If it is asked in paper 1, write about cause, implication, and suggestion. Is that very clear? So this is how you have to proceed. Now, just see the second question. Just go through the questions very quickly. Why do some of the most prosperous regions have an adverse sex ratio for women? Again, can you see the paradox? Why we say adverse sex ratio? You're not educated, you don't have money, so and so thing. But now it is asking prosperous region. That means they have resources and money. Still they are adverse sex ratio. So that's the paradox. Life cycle of a joint family. Now a general perception among us is traditional India, joint family, modern India, nuclear family. But the question is life cycle. So joint, nuclear and again joint. ये मिसिंग होता है हमारे आंसर में, जहां हम सोचना छोड़ते हैं यूपीएससी वहां पे सवाल बना देता है. इज दैट वेरी क्लियर? ठीक. नेक्स्ट, डिस्कस द सोशो एंड इकोनॉमिक फोर्सेस दैट आर ड्राइविंग इंक्रीजिंग फेमिनाइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर. रिमेंबर रोल ऑफ विमेन एंड विमेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो हाउ विल यू प्रिपेयर? विमेन विसवी कास्ट, विमेन विसवी फैमिली, विमेन विसवी रिलीजन, women vis-a-vis industrial sector, women vis-a-vis informal sector, women vis-a-vis service sector, and women vis-a-vis agriculture sector. This is how you have to prepare yourself. You will never miss out on any point. Is that very clear? Okay. Chalo. This is a direct question. This is anyways we'll teach. Secularism debate. Just see the question. The first question. Very easy question. The cultural diversity. बस उसका सेकेंड पार्ट पढ़ लो. पहले कल्चरल डाइवर्सिटी दिमाग में क्या आई थी? रिलीजन, कास्ट. सेकेंड पार्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन क्या है? रेट द सिग्निफिकेंस इन इंश्योरिंग नेशनल आइडेंटिटी. लिखोगे रिलीजन, लिखोगे कास्ट, अब क्या लिखोगे? फूड, ड्रेसिंग स्टाइल, language. Did you see the answer changed? So this is what's supposed to be taken care of. Okay? The PPTs will be there on the platform. So in case you want to go for a detail write-up, you can do that. Second question, there is on poverty. The third question, it is from your census report. Somebody was asking how to use the census data. In census, it was given that the sex ratio among tribes is better than sex ratio in scheduled caste. But the reason has been asked by UPSC. So the moment you are reading any census data, try to analyze it. That why is it happening? Is that very clear? Just 2 minutes it would take, just analyze the data. In case you're not finding the answer, Google it out. In case still you're not able to manage, so whatever guidance, whatever mentor you have, do get back to them. Because you never know UPSC ask you which question. ठीक है? चलो. Actually, this year the questions were pretty tough. I mean, debate the issue whether and how contemporary movements for assertion of Dalit identity works towards annihilation of caste. Trust me, आजकल इतने tough तो sociology optional में नहीं पूछ रहे हैं. इसलिए be very cautious when you are preparing yourself for Indian society. They are expecting you to write good answers. So practice answers every day. Is that clear? See? This was last year's paper. Just read the first question. To what extent globalization has influenced the core of cultural diversity in India? This is your answer. Homogenization, hybridization, and revival of local culture. So if you have deconstructed the syllabus, answers. Second question on poverty. An essential condition to eradicate is to liberate the poor from deprivation. एक बहुत खासियत है यूपीएससी की, वो कुछ साल तक देखता है कि आप खुद से सीख जाओ. बट जब हम खुद से नहीं सीखते हैं तो वो बहुत एक्सप्लिसिट कर देता है, विच आई हैव जस्ट नोटिस्ड. 7 + 5.5. Now they have started dividing the questions also. because they expect you first explain the statement and then justify the statement through examples. But हम क्या करते हैं, हमें जो आता होता है वो हम लिख कर आ जाते हैं. तो यूपीएससी ने क्लियरली बोल दिया 7 + 5.5 भाई साहब 7 नंबर में समझाइए स्टेटमेंट को और 5.5 नंबर में एग्जाम्पल्स दीजिए. सो सिमिलरली दे हैव डन दिस इन हियर as well as here. Now see, why are tribals referred as scheduled tribes? हम बोलते हैं ना scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. तो मैंने एक दिन क्लास में पूछा तो उन्होंने कहा कि मैम बिकॉज ट्राइबल्स आर मेंशन्ड इन द शेड्यूल ऑफ आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. मैंने कहा बिंगो, द क्वेश्चन इज फॉर 4.5 मार्क्स. चॉइस इज योर्स. So UPSC is now asking you very specifically 4.5 नंबर का आंसर लिखो कि why tribes are known as scheduled tribes. सिर्फ इतना लिख देने से they are mentioned in the schedule of your constitution, you will not fetch marks. Is that very clear? So be very well prepared when you are preparing your polity economy. ठीक है? Now see last, what is the basis of regionalism? Is that the unequal distribution of benefits. Again they have clearly divided the marks. Now, let's get back to what you're supposed to prepare. See, this is generally an opinion. For those who will be joining some of the institute, so whichever institute you join or you join ours, whosoever is the faculty will tell you the detailing. In case you don't join, this is just an advice. Read 2 NCERTs of class 12th. One is Indian society and other is social change and development. But I would not say that the questions will fall from those 2 books. What you need to do is read those books, get a grasp over what is actually the society and the jargons which are used in this, and then you have to read a newspaper which is known as Mint. One newspaper you all are reading, whether it is Hindu or Indian Express. What you need to do at Max is take an online subscription of Mint. Just flip through the pages. There are very good articles there. Suppose you find an article on caste system in India, or secularism in India, or communalism, make a noting of it. Because the kind of questions you've just noticed, you would not find the answers in any of the book. This is something which would be based on your observation, what you have analyzed so far. And just one request to all of you, if you are genuinely serious about 2018's attempt, please write one answer daily. Newspaper तो पढ़ते हो ना? Whatever you are reading in the newspaper, write down one answer daily. It is an art which cannot be learned overnight. If someone is clearing this exam in their first attempt, it is maybe because they already have a knack over good answer writing. There are many who do not have that knack. There are some who have never written any answer in their life before. So please start making use of time. Do not waste. Before sleeping, it just takes 15 to 20 minutes. Write whatever comes to your mind, but write. The more you practice, the more you get a hang of it. Is that very clear? ठीक है? And these are 2 books. I think आपको पैसे भी बताया होगा. NCERTs of geography and economy, human geography and Indian people and economy. This anyways you are studying. ठीक है? See, EPW now I'll not suggest because बहुत ज़्यादा टैक्सिंग हो जाता है. एक काम कर सकते हैं, अगर आपके पास सब्सक्रिप्शन है तो उनके आर्काइव्स पे जाके आप टॉपिक का नाम डाल दो. You will get a list of articles and any one article can be sourced. Entire EPW would become very taxing for you. As I think Ashish sir has already told you, योजना कुरुक्षेत्र पढ़ लेना. But Mint के साथ आजकल हम जो notice कर रहे हैं, the kind of questions which have been asked in mains, lot of the questions are coming from this newspaper. So this is just an advice. Google, use best मतलब usage of internet. आजकल वो The Wire और बहुत सारे blogs sites चलते हैं. कभी-कभी उन पे भी बहुत अच्छे articles मिल जाते हैं. तो फेसबुक करके टाइम मत वेस्ट करो. अब 1 साल के लिए कम से कम इंटरनेट का यूज भी करो तो सिर्फ पढ़ने के लिए करो. ठीक है? सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट, we'll not discuss this. So this is all about Indian society from my side, and in case you have any doubt or you want any further deconstruction of the syllabus, so you can contact me on this mail ID. But there are few things you have to do from your end. Purchase the syllabus, deconstruction of the syllabus. Before starting any topic, this is a personal advice. I'll tell you what mistakes I did during my attempts. I never used to look at the past year questions. I first used to think that पहले मैं पूरी लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ लेती हूँ, फिर मैं questions उठाऊंगी तो मुझ में confidence आएगा. पर जब मैं questions उठाती थी तो कुछ फंसता ही नहीं था. क्योंकि the moment I was reading Lakshmikant, I was not reading with that bent of mind. So first you look at the kind of questions UPSC is asking, and then you read the topics. So you will have automatically that kind of an alignment that if I have to read speaker, then in what capacity I am supposed to read speaker. This is just an advice. Go through the past 5-year question papers of every paper and then move ahead. And please अभी से ऐसे भी शुरू कर देना, because last moment पे ऐसे नहीं होता है. और ये मैं ऑप्शनल के लिए भी सजेस्ट करूंगी कि पहले क्वेश्चन पेपर देखो. इस साल का जो फाइनल सिलेक्शन है, इट इज डिटर्मिन्ड बाय 2 things. One is your optional and other is your essay. Essay people have scored as high as 170 and as low as 50. So that is the determining factor. This year in interview, more or less people have scored on a similar scale, not much of a difference. But the deciding factor has been optional and essay paper. Please do not take that lightly. And for GS, if you really need to score, you need to slog. Do that and you can do it. 1 year बहुत होता है करने के लिए. और वैसे भी विजन का कुछ चीज़ें बहुत अच्छी हैं, like PT 365, Mains 365, as far as current is concerned. So that will help you. See, there are 2 things. One is context and one is the content. Context is the keyword in the question. Content is what you write. And in content, there are 2 things. One is theory and other is example. Theory will be provided you in the class, in the books, and examples you will get from the current affairs material. Please blend both of them and you will sail through. ठीक है? चलो, wish you all the very best, people.